Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is me, Aisha Khan, and I'll be hosting today's session. I am Caseworker here at Legend Consults. Before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded and the recording will be shared afterwards. Drop your questions in the chat and we will address your questions at the end. And worth staying here. Whoever stays until the end will receive 20% off on our IFB service charges. And so stick around. Normally, people talk about what the Innovator Founder Visa is and if it is going to be a best route for them. So today's session is exactly about that. Is your UK Innovator Founder Visa the route for your business to stay in the UK? Today, to help us unpack this, we have Paul Ward's operational lead at UKES and managing director at Blue Orchid. Paul Ward has deep and hands-on experience with the endorsement process, and he is going to exactly let us know what endorsement process is like. Welcome, Paul, and over to you.
Okay, thanks very much, Aisha. Yeah, my name's Paul Ward. I am the operational lead for UKES. UKES stands for United Kingdom Endorsing Services. We are one of 3 endorsing bodies that exist across the UK. So if you're looking to achieve a business visa in the UK, you must apply to one of us 3 concessions in order to be able to gain an endorsement letter, so you can then apply for a visa. So let me tell you very quickly a bit about UKES and who we are and what we are. So we're a little bit different to other providers. We are a consortium-based business. So there are 6 companies that cross the whole of the UK with quite a wide range of assessors and business advisors that work for us. We respond quite quickly, so we can assess your applications in relatively quick time, so a quick turnaround. We are also very well connected with the current local business landscape. So if you are lucky enough to be approved and get your visa and start your business, we can connect you with a lot of local business help and support and advice where it's possible, grants, maybe loans, or generally business advice and consultancy. 2 important things to know about UKES. We only accept applications and we only communicate with the client themselves. So we never communicate with third parties. So we'll only ever deal with you as an applicant. So if you're working with an immigration lawyer or a business plan writer, that's absolutely fine, but we'll only ever communicate with you. And finally, and I'll go into a bit more detail about this later on, the way you apply for endorsement is through our website. Our website is ukesapp.co.uk, which is ukesapp.co.uk. There is a slideshow that I've got, which I'm happy to share at the end of the presentation if needs be. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can share the slideshow.
Oh, so we just continue. Okay. Right. So in terms of what we provide, there are 4 types of endorsements that UKES provide. The main one, the one that most people are interested in, is the Innovator Founder Business Visa. This is a visa for people that are looking to apply to start a new business in the UK. The big difference here is there must be innovation. So for those of you that have tried to apply in the past, in previous years, around about 4 years ago, the Home Office changed the rules. So there was about 70 or 80 different endorsing bodies. There's now only 3 because they wanted tighter control. They also scrapped and got rid of the startup visa. So they don't, the Home Office aren't looking for general startup visa businesses anymore. They're looking purely for businesses that have and can demonstrate solid, incredible innovation. So the Innovator Founder Visa is exactly that. Businesses that can demonstrate innovation, something unique, something different, something that can be patented, protected, that is totally different and unique to the UK marketplace. You can also apply for the Innovator Founder Same Business as previously endorsed. So you may already be in the UK running a business under the Startup Visa or the Innovator Visa, the previous one, and you may want to extend that. You can apply for an extension to that visa through us, known as the Same Business as previously endorsed. The third visa that we offer is the Innovator Founder Settlement in the UK. So this is for people who have spent the last 3 years in the country running the business and are able to evidence at least 2 out of 7 of the different criteria. Now, I'm happy to run through the criteria with you now, or we can say that later on for the Q&A. But we can also offer settlement in the UK, but you've got to be here for at least 3 years. Finally,
Perfect.
sorry.
Yeah, go on.
And finally, we offer the Scale Up Endorsement Visa. So this is not a very popular visa. Not many people apply for this. This is a visa for those that may decide to start a business with at least 10 employees with a multi-million pound turnover in the first year. We don't get many of them. I think we've been doing this 4 years now. I think we've had 2. So the main ones that we tend to see coming through are the Innovator Founder Business Visa endorsement and the Innovator Same Business as previously endorsed visa. So they're the main types of visas that we provide.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul, for a great insight in what UKES do and what are the categories of Innovator Founder Visa. Just to clarify, I wanted to just confirm the 2 types that you initially talked about are different. Does they overlap?
Say that again, sorry.
The first 2 types of or categories of endorsement you discussed, does they overlap?
Is there overlap?
Yeah.
No, there's no overlap. So basically, if you don't have a visa at the moment, a business visa, you would be applying for the Innovator Founder New Business Visa. If you do have a visa at the moment, you would apply for the same business as previously endorsed. So they are 2 separate routes depending on those 2 separate situations.
Perfect. Thank you. So when normally applicants are applying, they need to know what they exactly want to do. So could you please walk us through what applicants need to know before they apply?
Yeah, you need to know the type of business that you're looking at setting up. So we expect a range of information for you to provide when you're applying with us. So I will run through the documents that are required for the application process. So we expect to see a business plan, and this should be a detailed business plan. We don't want a pitch deck. We're not expecting a 5 or a 10-page document. We're looking for a bulky, thorough business plan that demonstrates strategically and credibly how you intend to operate and run your business, but that also very clearly identifies how your business is innovative. So, talking about innovation, talking about IP, talking about how it's unique, making sure you've done the correct amount of market research, that you've got a pricing policy, a SWOT analysis, all the typical things you'd expect to see in a business plan. So we're looking for an all-encompassing business plan that is very clear, because what you've got to understand is you're applying for an endorsement here and you're getting an objective assessment. So we don't know you and you don't know us. We never meet. We don't speak to each other. We're reliant on the information that you send us. So you need to make sure that the information in your business plan is thorough. The biggest mistake that a lot of people make is that they generalize the information in the business plan. Never generalize. Always add as much information as you can into your business plan. And that is one of the biggest tips I can give you, particularly around your innovation. Innovation is a very tricky category. It's hard to define innovation. I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about that later on. You need to make it absolutely clear within your business plan what makes your business innovative and different compared to anybody else in the marketplace. And there's an important distinction there. We're not talking about what we call incidental innovation. We're talking about true innovation. What is an incidental innovation? Incidental innovation is where you add something to the program, to your business. It's just an added benefit, i.e., it's not the core driver of the success. So let me give you a good example. You might be a hairdresser and you design an app so you can get people to book appointments. That's not innovative because the booking, the app is not the key driver. The quality of the hair cutting is the driver of the success of the business. So it's the core driver of the success of the business has got to be the innovation, which is why I say you must really focus. We would expect you to put together what's known as an innovation development roadmap. Basically, how you've got from A to B, how you've devised this piece of innovation, how you've created it, what research you've done into it, how you've had it tested, what research you've done in the marketplace. Have you reached out to your potential customer group? Have you made sure that people actually are interested and want this product or service that you're offering? So we need a business plan. We also need any additional information you think is pertinent. So, for example, if you are developing some sort of software, well, we need to see your CV or your resume. And within that CV or resume, we need to see that you've got experience, background, qualifications, experience within that field. If you apply for a visa to design and develop some software and you have no software development experience, you're not going to pass this criteria. So you personally, as the founder of the business, got to be the core and key driver of the innovation. We also ask you to provide a 3-year cash flow forecast, profit and loss account, and balance sheet, so we can see that the business can achieve sustainability. So those are the most important factors in terms of assessment. We also ask for ID documents because we have to perform security checks. So we'll be asking you for a copy of your bank statement or a utility bill, a copy of your passport, a selfie or a picture with you holding your passport, and a second form of ID. So they're the types of things we'll be looking at you have to provide through our online portal, through our website. And that's for the Innovator Founder Visa route.
Perfect. That was really helpful, Paul. Okay, now moving towards the question. Normally, when someone knows which endorsement body are they going to apply for, what does they actually know, starting from the first step to the last?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah. Once someone knows which endorsement body are they going to, then what they need to know, basically, what are the processes starting from the first stage to the last?
Right. Well, the process is the same amongst all three. So we're all slightly different. So you've got Innovator International, Investors, and UKES. That documentation I've just discussed is the first port of call. You'll upload that information and then you'll have to pay your fee. So there are assessment fees that go along with this. So let me explain to you what those are, because until you've paid your fee, you won't be assessed. So you'll upload your documents to the website. That's the first part of the process. Then you'll be sent a payment link. Now, for the Innovator Founder Visa, if you're outside the UK, that'll be £1,000. If you are based within the UK, it's £1,000 plus VAT. That's exactly the same for same business as previously endorsed, £1,000 plus VAT. If you're applying for the Scale-Up Visa, it's £1,500. And if you're applying for the Settlement Visa, that's also £1,000 plus VAT. However, if you do get endorsed and you do end up getting a visa from the Home Office, you also have to subscribe to 2 monitoring visits where the endorsing agent, i.e. UKES, will come out and visit you twice, once at 12 months and once at 24 months. And that comes at a charge of £500 per visit plus VAT. So it's £600 in total. Now you'll be billed for that, and then we'll come out and see you. You have to have those monitoring visits. If you don't have those monitoring visits, then you'll lose your visa. Your visa will be withdrawn. So just to recap, you'll upload your documents to the website. You'll pay your fee. You'll then go through a security check, which is why we ask for the passport and your ID. Once that's been done, you'll be allocated to an assessor who will assess your business plan, who will assess your CV, your cash flow, and all your financial information, and they will score you against 29 different pieces of criteria. So there are 29 areas that we look at when we're looking at your application. Across those 29 questions cover innovation, viability, and scalability. They're the 3 areas that we're looking for. If you don't pass the threshold, what you'll get is the written report explaining why you've not passed. You'll not meet us, you'll never see us, you'll just get a report saying you've been rejected and the reasons why you've been rejected. It's then up to you to decide whether or not you want to reapply. You'd have to go through the whole process again of reapplying, paying for the fee, and being assessed again. And hopefully addressing the feedback that you've been provided during your report. On the more positive side, if you do meet the threshold, so on the written assessment, if you do pass that threshold, you're then invited to an interview. And that's an online interview with one of our assessors who will speak to you online, like we are doing today, and they will ask more information about your business. And they'll talk to you more about how you intend to run it, how you intend to penetrate the marketplace, and any other questions they might have. Following that interview, UKES will decide whether or not to endorse you or not. If you're not endorsed, you'll get a written report explaining why. If you are endorsed, you'll be issued an endorsement letter. You can then take that endorsement letter to the Home Office, and you have 3 months in which to apply for a visa. After 3 months is finished, you're going to have to go through the whole process again. So if you don't do it in that 3 months, you'll have to go through the whole process again. So it's really important. The timing is really important. You know exactly what your business idea is, that your business plan is prepared. You've got all your documentation together. You know exactly what you're doing. You've presented it in the best light you can. And that you want to start in the next 3 months. It's really important. The timing is really important because you only have 3 months.
Very helpful, Paul. That really gives a realistic sense of timelines and cost to everyone watching or listening to us. So, moving towards the most important part, that is innovation. Normally, applicants consider that it is hardest to demonstrate this requirement, as innovation is really hard to demonstrate. So, Paul, could you please explain what innovation actually is?
Well, it's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? Innovation. And you could ask 20 different people and get 20 different responses. For me, innovation is about disruption. So your business has got to disrupt the marketplace. So there are a few things involved. The things that we look for are, does your idea already exist in the UK marketplace? So we do a Google search to see if what you're proposing already exists. If it doesn't, great. Then we look at what research and development you've put in. So R&D is really important. Research and development is very, very important under this visa route. We need to see that you've spent a lot of money on research and development to get your business idea to a certain level. But not only to get to that certain level, but ongoing R&D. So what is really important for the Home Office is that they're looking for true innovation. So only those businesses that demonstrate that they're spending, their future spending, at least 21% of that is spent on R&D, on research and development. That will demonstrate that you've got something truly innovative. That is one of the markers of innovation. Another marker could be IP protection, so intellectual property. Have you consulted an intellectual property lawyer or solicitor to see if your idea can be protected? That's really important. If you have, that's great. Include it in your application. Include the letter in your application. But it's about uniqueness and disruption. So you could be developing an app. You could be developing a piece of software, a new process, a new program, a new invention. What you've got to demonstrate to us is how there is a gap in the market, a clear gap in the market, how you have tested that market. So have you done any practical research, i.e., have you done any surveying of customers to see if they're interested in wanting your product or service? But most importantly is the R&D processing map. What future investment are you putting into it to continually develop that piece of innovation? The innovation has to be the core driver of the business. If it's not the core driver of the business, it won't pass. 95% of clients that apply who are rejected because they don't have any innovation in their business. Simply saying, I'm using AI in my business isn't strong enough. So we're seeing a lot of that at the moment. A lot of people are saying, well, I'm running this system, but I'm using AI. It's not strong enough. You need a more compelling offer than just AI. Excuse me, in order to pass the threshold. With AI, we're talking about algorithms, about writing algorithms. Well, I could write an algorithm that could be slightly different to yours, but will produce the same results that you're intending to do. So how are you protecting it from the marketplace? How are you going to protect your idea from being copied by established players in the marketplace? So when I say we're talking about detailed business plans, the market research is key, really. We really need to make sure that you considered all of this and made sure that you've covered yourself from being copied, that the concept is unique, and most importantly, it disrupts the marketplace. It makes people have to work differently. Now, we align ourselves with Innovate UK. So for those people that are thinking of applying, it'd be well worth visiting the Innovate UK website. And on there, they have 6 or 7 main priorities in terms of what they're looking to achieve. Your business idea should link in with at least 1 or 2 of those priorities. So there is no specific answer as such. That might be a little bit too general, I don't know. But that would be my answer to you is something that's protectable, that disrupts the marketplace, that is unique, that does not exist at the moment, that can and could be protected, and is not incidental. It's got to be the core driver of the business.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul, for putting light on what innovation looks like for you or the UKES. Now, can you please also highlight what the applicants should avoid while working on the innovation part for a business plan?
What they should avoid,
Yeah,
what should they avoid? I think it's less about avoiding, it's more about including. What you should avoid doing is generalizing. Don't summarize too much. I see so many business plans that are summarized. You know in your mind what your business idea is, but we don't. We're objective assessors, so we need it in detail written down so we can see it. If we can't see it, we don't know it. So the biggest thing to avoid is generalizing and summarizing. You need to write in detail. Put as much information and detail and evidence as you can into your business plan. Evidence is a big ask for this particular visa route. So, for example, if you tell me you need £70,000 worth of startup capital, I need to see evidence that you've got access to that £70,000. There's no point just saying I need £70,000 or I've got £70,000. You need to prove to me that you do. So you need to show me a bank statement or an angel investment statement that's letterheaded that says I'm going to invest in this business. But we need evidence to back up the claims. So that's the most important thing really is don't assume don't assume we know, don't generalize, don't summarize, be specific and be thorough.
perfect. Thank you, Paul, for highlighting that that generalization is not important, but instead you need to include everything that you want in your business to be exactly in the business plan. Perfect. So moving forward, normally applicants come to us and ask if the business plan needs to be tech based or non-tech. So would that make any difference?
No, as long as we don't mind if it's tech based or not. Our main focus are those three areas: innovation, viability, sustainability. Most important, innovation. So it doesn't matter if it's tech based or not. If it's innovative, it'll pass the threshold score. But that's the big one really. So it doesn't matter what sector you're going into, it doesn't matter what industry it is, it doesn't matter what product it is. As long as there's innovation, as long as it's unique, it's never been done before. That's the most important part.
Perfect. Apart from that, Paul, can you please also put some light on what the viability and scalability means to you or to UKES?
Sure, yeah. For me, I'll relate it down to the market research. So if I'm to determine whether something is viable or scalable, it's based on solid evidence-based market research. And there is two types of research, isn't there? There is primary research, so that's desk-based research. So that's where you sit at your computer at home and you can pull up stats and you can pull up bits of information that can assist your business plan and provide context. And that is helpful and useful. So that's number one. For me, what's more important is the practical research. So what practical research have you done? That's what demonstrates viability and scalability. So have you reached out to your customers or your potential customer group? Excuse me. So those that do well through the endorsement process have normally conducted a survey on their targeted customer group. Surveyed over 100 people and asked pertinent questions. Is this something you would buy? How much would you spend on this product? How often would you buy it? Why would you buy it? What is missing from what you're currently getting? This is all really beneficial information which provides evidence that your business is viable, your idea is viable. So research should be a big chunk. Most of the business plans that we approve can be at least 100 pages long. They are very, very thorough these days. We're not looking, it doesn't matter if you want to use AI in your business plan. That doesn't matter as long as you understand and know what your business plan is. But your market research is really important, not only to demonstrate the innovation, but it leads into, more importantly, two other things: your sales projections and your cash flow forecasting. Because what you can produce a sales projection and a cash flow forecast that demonstrates that your business is going to make a lot of money. But if we've not got the research that backs that up, it's meaningless. It doesn't tell the whole story. So when you're looking at your numbers, when you're looking at your cash flow, your financial forecasts, when you're looking at your profit and loss, when you're looking at your sales projections and how many clients you're going to sell to. If you're going to sell to 1,000 customers in your first 12 months, what is that sales strategy? How are you going to acquire 1,000 new clients? And how is that linked back to the market research you conducted? And it's that everything's linked together. So that's how we would assess viability and scalability. You can't obtain scalability without viability. So innovation is on its own. Is it innovative or not? And like I say, 95% of cases, businesses aren't innovative. Then we look at viability. Is it viable? Have they conducted enough research? Well, yes, in some cases they have. So then we go into sustainability. Can this be sustained? Have they looked at their jobs forecast? Have they brought in enough people into the business in order to be able to make sure it runs and operates the way it should do? Have they looked at their cash flow? Can they make sure they've got a fund set aside? So inevitably in business, I've been in business for 30 years now, and I have a pot of cash set aside for a rainy day, just in case something goes wrong, in case a customer doesn't pay me on time or a piece of equipment breaks. What am I going to do? So contingency planning is very, very important. So all of this should be in your business plan. A SWOT analysis with mitigating factors and risks and action plans against those mitigations. We expect to see all of this in the business plan, all part of your research, and it helps us and it helps you to demonstrate a credible and reliable, strategically placed business plan.
Perfect. That means viability and scalability are also important, but mostly the business plan is based on innovation, right?
Innovation is the first thing that we look at, yeah. Don't get me wrong, there have been businesses that have been innovative but have not been viable. But 9 times out of 10, it's because they're not innovative. That's the biggest problem. So really, you've got to try and find something that is truly innovative. That's your biggest task here. In previous visa routes, under like the general startup route, UKES, we probably receive about 100 applications a month. And if we were running a startup visa, a general startup visa, the majority of those people would probably be approved because the business plans are very good. But a lot get rejected because there is no real innovation within the business. So innovation certainly is the key and the first thing that people should be thinking about. Also, let's think about this. It's all linked together. To be viable, to penetrate the marketplace, you're only going to penetrate the marketplace if you're going to disrupt the marketplace. And the only way to disrupt the marketplace is to have something new, something unique, something different that attracts customers away from the people that are already serving them. So it's all linked together, really. Innovation, viability, and scalability. Everything's linked together in one way or another.
Perfect. Paul, normally applicants think that endorsement letter is what would get them a visa. So can you please also explain it to the applicants that endorsement letter is something that is leading to the visa. However, you need a separate visa in order to come inside the UK.
Yeah, it's a good point, Aisha. Thank you. So obtaining an endorsement letter from UKES is only the first part. You then take that letter and make an application to the Home Office. And ultimately, it's the Home Office that make the decision as to whether or not they're going to give you a visa or not. Now, they take our endorsement as a positive, but they conduct their own interview with you. So our criteria might appear harsh, but it's based off knowledge of working with the Home Office. So we only approve those that we believe have got a good chance of getting through the process. Our success rate is about 96%. So about 96% of the clients that we approve get approved by the Home Office. And that's because we work very closely. We meet with the Home Office once a month. So we get to know them very well and we know what they're looking for. But yeah, once you finish with us, you've got 3 months in which to apply to the Home Office, and they'll interview you separately, and it's them that decide if you get your visa or not. Once you've got your visa, you've then got to let us know, and then we'll set the clock in motion so we can set them monitoring visits up. So we'll then meet you at 12 months and 24 months to see how the business is progressing. Now, those monitoring visits are really important. Our job in those situations is to make sure you've done what you said you were going to do. So if you wrote in your business plan that you were going to patent a new piece of technology, hire 5 people, and make £1 million revenue, well, when we meet you in 12 months' time, we expect you to have done those things and have the evidence. If you've done none of that, we'll withdraw your endorsement and your visa will get terminated. If you've achieved some of that, and it's clear you're working towards it, you know, we look more favorably on that. But if it's clear you've gone and got yourself a job at Uber and not worked at all in the business, then we will reject your endorsement and withdraw it, and it will be removed. So the monitoring visits are really important once you do get your visa. And it's really important that whatever you've said in your business plan, you execute once you start your business.
That's amazing to know that 96% of the businesses that get the endorsement letter also got the visa process finalized. And that's also incredibly interesting to know that how important is the monitoring sessions. So thank you, Paul, for moving or for giving us such a deep insight about what the Innovator Founder Visa is and how UKES overview it. Now, I believe we should just move on to the question and answer session.
Yeah.
And before going on to that, do you want to add up something that would be helpful for the applicants?
Not really. I think just take heed of what I've said, really. The biggest thing, the biggest take home here is don't generalize and summarize. Make sure you make a lot of note, put a lot of information into your business plan. If it helps, get an immigration lawyer or a business plan writer to help you. Make sure you've got a real innovative business idea and that you're linked to it. So, for example, Aisha, if you were going to come to me with a new piece of technology, but you have no technology background, you're not going to pass, because why would I believe you can set up a technology business? So I need to be able to see a link between you and technology. So we need to see evidence. Provide as much evidence as you can, as much market research as you can. These are the most important parts of the process, really. and what score you the most points. That would be my
Yeah,
summary. But I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone's got.
yeah, that totally makes sense. I'm just jumping onto the question and answers so we can.
Oh, sorry, I don't know how my videos are scored. There we go.
It's the most important part of the successful application.
So that one more time.
What's the most important part of the successful application?
Being thorough. I think
Yeah,
what I've just said, making sure you've got an innovative idea. Don't just say, I'm doing something with AI. We need to see true innovation, include an innovation development roadmap, include an R&D budget, spend at least 21% of that budget on future R&D. Make sure you've got a chief technical officer that's going to help you with your R&D. Make sure that your business is unique, that it can be protected. Make sure it can't be copied, and make sure that you can back that up all with research. Those are the two most important factors. Making sure you've got an innovation claim and you've got very strong market research. They're the two most important factors.
perfect. Thank you, Paul. Okay, we have another question that is, have you ever seen an application that surprised you in a good way?
Have I ever seen an application that surprised me in a good way?
Yeah.
Um, yes, I have. I, when I say in a good way, in a surprising way. So, I approved an applicant once. I mean, my background, I'm a business advisor by trade, so I help businesses grow. That's what I do as a day job. So I give strategic business advice to help businesses grow. I had a gentleman that applied who created a new piece of software for deep sea drilling. Well, obviously, I know nothing about deep sea drilling. So, reading through the business plan, I had to learn a lot about deep sea drilling and realized that what he'd created, what he'd invented, could save hundreds of lives because he created an automated system that stopped people from having to check things underwater manually. So that was a really, really interesting business that I thought worked really well, and something I'd never thought of before. So yeah.
That actually seems interesting. Okay, so we also have a question that is, are there any trends you are seeing or the types of business seeking endorsement today?
Yeah, seeing a lot of businesses that say they're using AI and think that that's enough. And as I've already
Okay.
said, it's not.
Yeah, perfect. Okay,
I
so
need to make
Paul,
that as clear as possible. If your only innovation is the use of AI, that won't be strong enough. You can use AI in your business, but you've got to have more than just AI as part of your business. If you're creating a piece of technology, it can include AI, but there should be components of that technology that you've created that don't exist. Or it might be you're combining different components that already exist into one new invention that is truly unique. You can do that. Um, so we are seeing a lot of trends about AI, but a lot of them are getting rejected because they're just saying, well, I've created an app. and the app uses AI. So we're seeing a lot of rejections at the moment because people are running out of ideas. So you need to have a really strong, innovative idea.
Perfect. Thank you. Moving to the next question, that is, what evidence best demonstrate that a business is genuinely innovative?
I think I've covered all already, but I don't mind
Yeah,
repeating.
that's
Um,
perfect. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it's what I've said already, really, which is having an R&D plan, having a large R&D budget, having a research and development roadmap, it being unique, that you've sought out protection from an IP lawyer or solicitor, provide evidence that what you are suggesting is unique and can be protected from being copied. That's
Take,
the best you can provide.
thank you for answering that. Again, we have another question. Do you want to take that? What's the one question that applicants should ask but they don't?
What's the one question applicants should ask but don't?
Yeah.
Um, I guess it would be that. Is my business really innovative? Have I conducted enough research? Have I included enough information? Rather just making a factual statement. So you might say, I'm going to recruit 1,000 clients in year one. I want to see evidence of how you've come to that figure. You might tell me you're going to charge £25 per person for your service. How have you derived that figure? How have you got to that figure? Have you completed a competitor analysis? So it's all about evidence and research. Have you completed enough research to make sure you can back up the things you're saying?
Okay, perfect. Thank you for answering that. We have another question, that is, if you are the only person assessing or reviewing the business plan, what would be the one section you would be relying on, and which section would it be and why?
Sorry, could you repeat that one for me, please?
Yeah, sure. If you are reviewing only one section of the business plan to judge the overall quality of the business plan, which section would it be and why?
Uh, we wouldn't. We look at the whole business plan. So
Oh,
we do it in three parts. We start with innovation, then we look at viability, then we look at scalability. But we complete because they all link together, we look at the whole plan. So you'll get 29 different points of feedback for your business plan. So even if your business plan's not innovative, we'll still comment on the viability and the scalability of it. So there is no one area. We look at all areas of the business plan and your financials. You need to make sure, another good important tip, you need to make sure that your financials add up, that your sales projections in your business plan add up to your cash flow forecast in your financials. Quite often people don't do that. So it's making sure they all add up together.
perfect. We can take one more question, and that is there any initial stage for the business when applying?
Is there any what? Sorry.
Is there any initial or ideal stage for the business while applying?
Is there any ideal time?
Yeah,
Um, for me, if you're looking to start in the next 3 months or 4 months, that's the right time to apply. If you, as I say, if you are lucky enough to get an endorsement from us and then get a visa from the Home Office, you've only got 3 months. So you need to be able to start within 3 months. So
perfect.
that would be my big advice to you is make sure when you make your application to us that you're looking to start within the next 3 to 4 months. Any longer, you'll risk the window of applying for the actual visa of the Home Office, and you'll have to start again, and it will just cost you more money.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense and perfect. Thank you, Paul, and thank you for such an insightful session, for your time, and for such detailed session today. I know that will be helpful for so many listening to us. And thank you everyone who joined us today. And the good news is that you are eligible for 20% discount on Innovator Founder Visa service charges. If you have any specific circumstances or if you want to have more questions, you can contact Legend Consults today. Thank you all for joining, and thank you again, Paul, for giving your time.
You're welcome. I'd just like to finish on one last thing.
Every 2 weeks on our website, we host a Q&A event. So if anyone has any questions, they might walk away from your event today and have more questions. If you have any other questions, we host events like this every 2 weeks on our website. It's completely free. You can log on, you can speak to them. It won't be me, but it'll be one of my team, and they will be able to answer any questions you've got in terms of the Innovator Founder Visa.
Oh, that's really amazing and insight, and that is actually a new thing for us to know that UKES is holding such sessions every 2 weeks. And thank you for letting us know that too. And have a great day, everyone.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very much.
you.